Yes.
Okay, so everyone, just in spirit of transparency, I have a recording device, and the only reason why we have it is it's going to allow us to capture the notes that are spoken during this meeting, and there's an AI program in this, and so it'll transcribe it into a Word document, making take notes much easier and have them be clear and concise and accurate. So that's what this thing is gonna do, so I just wanted to let people know that's what it is.
Who are you?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm Edie Winters, I'm a trustee on the board.
Okay.
All right, thanks for that.
Yes.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Last time the meeting didn't go so well, some of you were here. It's gonna be different this time. We had a sign-up sheet for a comment period at the end of the meeting. Everybody here is welcome to be here. You have a right to be here, but this is a business meeting of the board, and comments will be at the end of the meeting if you signed up. If you didn't, well, too bad. There will be no comment or disruption from members. You have a right to be here. You don't have a right to interrupt business. That's just the way it is. Okay. That being said, I'm gonna call the meeting to order, and you see we have a quorum here. We have 3 officers and several trustees, so we do have a quorum. I'll introduce myself first, and we can go around the table so everybody knows who everybody is. Oh, another thing, this is gonna be a 90-minute meeting. There will be no extension. We'll be done in 90 minutes, or 8:30, or less, hopefully. I'll introduce myself. Jay Carey. I was recently elected president. No experience doing this. I'm gonna try to do the best job I can. I live in 24 Ponderosa.
Larry Baker, I'm a trustee.
Diane Baker, also trustee.
Karen Morrison, nobody.
Edie Ponderosa. Jan Luger, 19 Ponderosa.
No, Claus, 18 Ponderosa.
Tyler Emmy, 93 Ponderosa.
Jean's fine.
Tom's fine. Ponderosa, 62.
Sylvette, 102 Ponderosa.
Norm, 102. Ponderosa.
Jan Still, 40 Ponderosa.
Joe Burns, 5 Aspen.
Laura, 5 Aspen Lane.
John Ross.
Courtney Haas, 7 Ponderosa.
Anna Epcot, 53 Ponderosa.
Dave Crowder, 5 Churchill.
Edie Winters, 5 Choke Cherry.
Chad Anderson, I just live in a Colbert, so 71.
Denny Hill, treasurer.
Okay. Anyone would like to address the minutes?
Yeah, we received an email from Julie Verusha with her minutes. Went through them, there are a lot of things in there that are a little bit jumbled, not consistent. And I think before we really look at them for approval, we need to go through and, change. Some of the dates are wrong and, people's references and so on. So I think before we can approve these, there's a lot of changes and corrections that need to be made. That's my opinion. So I guess I'd suggest we table them until we get them revised.
Okay.
And I second that. So
All right, anybody else want to comment about tabling the minutes until we get them figured out? No? Okay. Okay, now, board members, who will vote to roll the minutes till we can get them figured out? Aye. Opposed? No?
I oppose.
Okay. he's already told us about the AI recording. We're going to use this machine here and then have a transcription, exact transcription of the meeting. And then we'll have that condensed to summary. And there will be, the summary will be posted if anybody's interested in the full transcription. We'll post a summary on the website. If you're interested in the full transcription, that could somehow be provided if you're interested. So, I would say, is there any other, we're gonna talk about also, getting Zoom capability. Was there anything, was somebody checking on that? Were you checking on that, Edie, or was I thinking of myself?
If somebody's absent, we can do that.
Okay, well,
Did find out, from asking other folks that use that, there is an AI capability to that to record minutes and stuff, but it's not very good. So we'll need to use something like this.
that's probably where I was thinking about that, so. Would somebody like to motion that we use this consistently? Motion that we use this every time for all
I
the
motion
meetings?
that we use it every time for clear and concise and accurate.
I will say, let's wait and see how that turns out first before we start using it consistently.
Okay.
Because we may have to get a better one or a different one. Not saying that that one's a bad one, I just, just to kind of.
Okay, we can roll, the acceptance of this until we see how it turns out the first time. Okay,
We got a second for that, or?
Are you gonna, if you're gonna remove the,
Well, I'm not removing it, I just added an amendment.
you wanna withdraw that until next time and see how it works?
We can withdraw that and
Okay.
do a test run this time.
Okay, I'm gonna write down there,
Yeah.
test run. Okay. Alright. And, Denny has some information about road work and snow removal.
treasurer's?
Oh, treasurer's report, excuse me,
Okay.
go ahead.
I have copies of the treasurer's report for the end of July, unless everybody has enough copies of it. Last month we had almost $1,100 in dues and other income. And then we finally got, I think, the bank statement squared away, so we shouldn't be seeing that $2 monthly fee on there anymore. We got it reimbursed, last month. We had big expenditures last month for the annual road maintenance, $6,000, and then the culvert work of $53.84. So those were the big ones. Balance outstanding at the end of the month was $14,657, and the only expense we've had since then is $134 for filing the amendment to the bylaws. No other income. That's it.
Okay. All right then. Well, the next thing to talk about is,
That's it.
oh,
Get a motion.
thank you very much. Somebody like to,
I move to approve the treasurer's report.
A second.
all in favor of?
Aye.
Okay. I'm just getting used to this, guys, so I hope you can cut me some slack. I'm not used to being in charge of the meeting or anything, so it's a new thing for me. Okay. Did you want to talk about?
Sure. Road work and snow removal bids, it's getting close to that time where we need to start budgeting for next year. So I'm gonna work on getting contractors lined up, to give us bids for that for next year. Clay Morris did a decent job for us this last year, definitely keep him in mind. But I know a couple other people that, have some interest too, so I'll put together an RFQ basically, or an RFP, and request for proposal, and see what we got.
You have a motion on that?
No.
Okay. All right, then, the next thing we're going down to, item C, which is, the HOA insurance on the agenda, but we're still gathering information on that, and don't really have anything to talk about this evening as far as the, section C on the unfinished business. There, we're still gathering information to see if that would be, something that would benefit us, as a group. So, I personally would propose that we would just roll that to the next meeting. You have to vote on that one?
No.
Okay, that's good. Now, Mr. Burns' damage claim. I think at this point, in my opinion, we're gonna probably refer Mr. Burns to submit his claim to his insurance company. I think there are multiple things that went wrong that night, and we're not gonna do anything about it really, actually, until we hear from an insurance company to see who's really at fault. The ditch people were part of the problem. The culvert was a problem, but let's see what the insurance company says, and we'll take it from there. So, how about that? All right. We're gonna see where that goes.
Can I, since
Yes.
in a meeting, since if you're brought up in the agenda, you're supposed to be able to speak since they're on the agenda. You're supposed to allow them time to speak on that topic because it's on the agenda.
Okay. Then, Mr. Burns, would you like to say something?
Yes. We're not gonna go through our insurance company. We know you guys are at fault for this. That culvert's been neglected for years. We have proof of neglection for years. We have proof of board members pumping water around the broken culvert before it was even fixed. The dish company was hired by the board to move the water, and they moved it into our house and did nothing about it. We had to do emergency actions for it. So the $1,000 is actually lower than what the cost is to myself and my fiance for this. We were trying to give you guys a break on it. We have receipts for the equipment that we bought for that, and we brought the receipts with us here if you guys want to see it, but we are going to hold you guys liable for that damage, and we would like to just see the neighborhood thing done and do the $1,000. The cost from the entire incident is more than the 3 times of that, but we were willing to just do 1,000. So
we didn't rent equipment, we just bought it because that was cheaper. The rentals was going to be accumulated of thousands of dollars for the time we needed it. But from our understanding, the HOA was there after the ditch, so you guys, or the HOA put the culvert in, so it is the HOA's responsibility to maintain the culvert.
That is correct, and it's pretty hard to see decay inside the middle of a 20-foot culvert until there's an actual problem.
the dish company told us that they've looked at this and brought it up to you guys for multiple years.
Who did that?
The dish company. We have their statement as well. We're not trying to go the legal route, but if you guys aren't willing to pay the $1,000, but then we have a letter, you guys aren't willing to sign the letter and say you're gonna pay the $1,000, we will go to civil court and the cost is gonna be dramatically higher for the entire incident. The water was diverted to our house in this incident. The board knew about it and was trying to pump the water out and still didn't fix it. And it caused damage to our house.
We had 2 feet of water in our crawl space.
Can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
Who diverted the water?
We saw you pumping the
You
water out
did.
there.
And you
No.
took out,
Those white pipes?
Diana Murphy, I think is her name.
Okay, so she pointed those towards your house?
Correct, from the road to our yard.
But it was
Hired
already
by the
coming in.
HOA.
It was already coming in.
But
the water was already
The water was,
flowing
they tried to direct
to
the
the
water
house.
to the yard because the water was directly going into the vent space, into our crawl space. And if we weren't home and luckily she came home from work early that day, we could have had water up to our floorboards and the damage would have been even worse. We're running equipment all day right now trying to get the moisture down, to keep the mold down, to keep the cost down for everybody. but I mean, it's costing us some electricity, it's costing us some time, so.
We're just wanting reimbursed for what the equipment we had to buy and the guy to come inspect the damage.
We haven't even turned the furnace on, we were trying to let it dry out, but there might be furnace damage as well, so. We don't wanna go the legal route, but if you guys vote on it right now and say you're not gonna pay it, we're gonna go to
Well,
seven.
I'd like to take it under further consideration. Would you be able to present your proofs so we could, take them with us and give it further consideration? Cause I think there's some discrepancies here in responsibilities.
Can I bring you?
Yeah, please do, I mean,
So one's from Home Depot for the dehumidifier, or sorry, there's two from Home Depot.
yeah,
And then those are for the air blowers, which he actually got a military discount, so $60. And then
Okay.
here's the invoice for,
okay, now this is, and you're willing to let me have these copies?
yep, those are for you.
Okay, now, what I was asking about though, was your proofs that you mentioned, proof that it was the HOA's problem. You talked to certain people, what?
We were told that the ditch was known for years. We have people that have strong statements on that. It wasn't taken care of immediately, and so while we were at work, it was flowing into our house all day. We have proof of board members trying to push the water on the other side because they knew it was an issue, but nothing was getting done.
Who was that?
Figures.
The Bakers had a pump sitting in the ditch, but Diane had a pump the week before pumping it out when it
Wait,
flooded.
you're not Mr. Burns. You can wait till the end of the meeting, please.
So, yeah, she told me she was pumping it out to the other side because it was flooding, but then people kept running over the hose, so she stopped. And I discovered our sump pumps going at 5:30 that morning, notified him, and he had called Denny. But when I got home from work, because I work in Sheridan, at like 6 o'clock, there was flooding and water running down the road. And so that's kind of when he called the hosses, because I just moved here, I don't know many people, to help. And that's kind of when everyone, Jeff and I don't remember, Chad and all them came out to help.
Well, I'm completely willing to take this under further consideration. If you would provide the evidence of these proofs that you say that you have, or at least a written narrative, a timeline of who said what and when. I mean, the ditch people showed up, they did work, they exacerbated the situation. And I think, I'm not sure, but I think Larry and Diane's pump was trying to pump it over to the other side where it was supposed to go. I mean, I've heard several different versions of timelines. I would really appreciate having yours, and then I'll give it a good honest look and see where we're at on that. I know I did look at your property on the website, the Zillow thing. It is in a floodplain. It's been flooded before. So it's not unusual for your property to have been flooded. I'm not saying that has anything to do with this situation, but
I think
there could be prior damage from other floods. I don't know.
Okay, but the concern is that the issue was well before the flooding of our house, and you guys knew about it. I mean, if people are pumping water out, I don't drive that way for work, so I don't know the exact time frame, but we notified you as soon as we discovered it.
Yeah.
And it took
You
till
mean the
1
flooding,
in the morning.
the
to
flooding
fix it.
proper. Okay, well, I've heard different versions of how it went down. I haven't been in the neighborhood very long. I've only been here 3 years. I've been president for like 12 minutes. So I'm trying to cope with this thing and deal with it in a proper manner. If you would write a timeline and provide some proofs that you say, you talk to who said this and that, I would be, and maybe the ditch person, whoever had input to you about this, I would appreciate that, and I would take that into consideration.
Diana Murphy, who was hired by the HOA to fix it, told me that when she was hired, that there was water running into my vents to the crawl space. And she said that you guys have known about this for years and not fixed the culvert. And so that's who we would put on the stand to testify.
And who is this person?
She was hired by the ditch company. She works for them. I met her.
She works for the ditch company. We didn't pay her. We didn't hire her.
It's not whatever. That's what she said.
See, this is the problem. there's so many different versions of what's going on. I would really appreciate a detailed timeline of who said what and when, and then I will actually give it some serious thought.
Okay, so can I ask who you guys did hire to fix it then, once we contacted you?
Nobody was hired until we had to call people at 7 o'clock at night, and the issue was not fixed until 1 in the morning. Like, if we didn't call anybody, if Chad didn't take care of us, who's the only one on the board who's checked on us, who made sure that our situation was taken care of, we would have had water up to the gills. That's the issue, is that we had to call to get this mitigated. Why was nobody on the board willing to help? Besides Chad?
I'm still, I'm appreciative of your emotions on this and your feelings. But I have some other timelines from other people, and I would like yours, so I could compare them and make a reasoned judgment on this. And then we can vote on how to deal with it. I understand it's a problem. So, would you be willing to provide?
What timeline do you have? Are you willing to provide us
I
your
don't think
timeline?
that's relevant.
So you're not gonna provide that information?
So your timeline's not relevant, but our timeline
I'll
is.
tell you what,
It's okay. We'll take care of this in court. We said our piece. We will, Sheridan County will handle this. We appreciate it. We appreciate Chad. Thank you for checking in on us. Thank you for staying out all night. Thank you to the Hosses and thank you to the Burnses for taking care of the culvert, for flooding our house. We appreciate it, but we'll take it from here. We just wanted to see if we could be neighborly, but we can't. So, thank you.
I think the point is that, Jay is trying to make is, we want your independent thoughts, not somebody else's that's already.
Well, you guys won't provide yours, so why do I have to provide mine?
Our thoughts are, we are just asking you to do the right thing, reimburse us for the cost of the damage, that's it. We're not saying, if I rented the equipment, it would have been $25 for a blower, one day. I had to buy 2 of them for $450. We've been running them since the incident on July 10th. So the cost of that could have been a lot more. We're not trying to get rich, we're just trying to have you guys pay for the damage of the equipment we had to buy.
The other issue is, I'm not convinced that we have liability, or we're certainly not forward liability, because the ditch company was called at least 3 times to shut off the water, and they refused to do it. So that's not on us. That's not on the HOA board. Okay, so there's more at play than just, everybody seems to want to automatically blame the HOA for whatever goes wrong,
I do know the phone calls were made, and I appreciate that, and I know that was beyond your guys' control, so.
Yeah, so, had that been shut off initially, when we saw the problem, you wouldn't have water in your house from that. So,
I agree.
Now maybe you can see a little bit why we're hesitant to say, okay, we're at fault, because we don't believe we truly are. At least that's my opinion.
Also, the plastic pipes that were put in the road that diverted the water, that directed it toward your house, they were placed there by ditch personnel. So that further put some onus on them to be responsible.
But it was flooding before they were put in. That's what I'm saying. I discovered it that
made
morning.
It worse. It made it worse. They directed it. So anyway, they did work that did not remediate the problem. It just kept getting worse until 6 o'clock the next morning, they finally figured out they should turn it off. So, I don't know. We don't think we're fully responsible for this, and we can
I have a question for Joe, and is it Laura?
Yes.
Did you guys, reach out at all to the ditch company?
I tried to get the ditch company's number from Denny, and he finally gave it to me. I had asked him twice for it. And I talked to the ditch guy, and he says that they told him multiple years about this ditch, about this culvert being an issue.
But it wasn't discussed why they didn't turn the water off when
He said it would take too long to turn the water back on, but then they did turn the water off. Eventually, the next morning after it already was fixed.
Right, they turned it off when it was too late.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just wondering so that's what you got from them, was that they weren't gonna take any onus of it?
No, well, no. They said that they voiced that this was gonna be an issue if it wasn't handled sooner than later. And they said this for years, and they knew that this was gonna happen. It just only was a matter of time. So,
Do we have any record of them trying to inform us that the ditch was, that the culvert was impaired?
You don't retain any information.
We can contact
I've
them.
talked to him a couple times myself. There was no problem with the ditch last year, 0. It's right across from my house, I know that. The year before.
just because it wasn't a problem doesn't mean there was a problem. Like,
No,
you know,
it wasn't a problem last year. The year before, they cleaned it out themselves and made it flow again. It was full of pine cones and branches. This year, they went in there with a big old rotor rooter thing and got the flow to go through better. But that was it. They knew they had a problem and they wouldn't shut the water down. They wouldn't even reduce it. He wouldn't even be reasonable to reduce it until we could get somebody, a contractor arranged to do something with it. So it was unfortunate, but they didn't have no problems last year with that. So just so you know, I usually watch them over there, so.
They ran a rooter machine through there.
Yeah, this year. I watched the guys do it.
Yeah, I think that too. It could have, a rooter can do damage to a pipe that's prone to problems. A rooter machine can just tear a pipe up that's weakened. And that's another reason why I think they may have exacerbated the problem, and they need to be partially responsible here.
Well, I think we need to move on. What I'll suggest, let me make a motion. We take their information under advisement, and we look into this further also with the assistance of our attorney and see where we go from here.
Okay, I would second that. Anybody want to comment?
Sounds like
Yeah, Denny, did you say and also to include conversation with the ditch company?
No, I didn't. I think we could, but I think that might depend on what we hear from the attorney.
Okay, sure, that makes sense.
Who would like to, need to vote to pass what they just said. Aye?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Chad?
Nay.
Okay. It's noted on the machine there. You taking some notes, Edie? Thank you. All right then. Well, we'll see where that goes. Another one, a couple of real winners here. We're gonna have to raise the dues. There's been many complaints. Yeah, go ahead, it's kind of funny to some. But, there have been complaints for years about inadequate road work. Culverts not getting fixed. Things, just not taken care of properly. But money is a tool. This is probably the lowest paying HOA, I don't know, in the state. There's people up the road here that pay $285 or more a month for their stuff. So, and they're at this point, we're probably gonna run into some legal situations, and we're gonna try to do more road work, more complete, better road work. So, I'm proposing we raise the dues, the full 20%, which we're allowed to per annum, which doesn't happen very often. And our dues do not keep up with inflation as for the road work. The dues can't keep up with what things cost, road repair, gas, labor, and people complain about the road work. So I propose that we raise the, would anybody like to?
The 20%? I can second that motion, that we would increase our dues by the allowed 20%. for this next coming time.
Any board comment on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any nays?
Nay.
Thank you. Okay. There's another one here I forgot to put on there, but it is unfinished business, and it's gonna be we're gonna proceed with enforcement of outstanding dues through the legal process. Warnings were given about non-payment of dues several times in the last warning evidently gave a 30-day notice, and we're gonna pursue it through legal matters. I could name off the ones that are, I could name them off, but I won't, because some of the people aren't here. McCready is one though, that's a foreclosure, that's already been filed, so we can get in line with the creditors. And we're gonna seek legal counsel on filing on the rest, starting, as soon as we get the paperwork together, probably next week. So, I don't think we need to vote on that, that's just something that's gonna happen.
And let me add that there's one other one that, both the, owners are deceased now, and we don't have any new owner of record, either from us or at the county, so we still have to follow up on that.
Yeah, that's a whole nother paperwork thing we're gonna have to go through. All right, now that's all the unfinished business at this point. Another thing we're gonna, number 6 on the agenda is violation of covenants, chickens. It's just an example, but there are other violations, and we're gonna probably send out notices of compliance soon to let people know that if they are out of compliance, we'll send them out to everybody. And if there's anybody that's out of compliance that we have evidence of, that there have been complaints about, enforcement will ensue. So we'll see where that goes. The notices will be sent out. And does anybody else have a comment on that?
What all covenants are
No,
you
not
enforcing?
Not yet, sir.
Well, you asked for a response or any comments.
No, I'm talking to the board. The
Oh,
board can
so
comment on that. I mean, I told you at the start. I know you're upset and you don't like me or most of the
It
people.
was just a question.
you're bringing in
he
personal
asked
crap. I just
about.
asked because you said, "Is there any comments?" And that's where
Okay,
I
you're
assume.
right. I'll
I
grant you
assume. Okay.
that. Let's let that go then. All right.
Okay.
Very good. New business. Part of the money that's going to be sucked up by the dues increase will help pay for. We are gonna get culvert inspections. As soon as the ditch people shut the water off, we're gonna have them all inspected and ascertain the damage, and by the time springtime rolls around, we'll be able to do repair work on those before, it becomes a problem, like we had this year. Before they turn the water on. So after they turn the water off, we'll get them inspected, and if there's time before winter, we could start addressing the problem. If there's no time before weather sets in, we could get on it as soon as the snow melts off, but before they turn the ditch on to make, corrections. So that's something that's gonna happen. We're still seeking a secretary. Edie shouldn't have to be taking notes here. So if anybody's interested in the secretary position.
And a trustee.
Do we need another trustee
Yes,
now?
we do.
We have a vacancy.
Oh, we have one vacancy, okay. Yeah, well, okay, let's put that out there then. There's a trustee position open also, so if anybody's interested, let us know. go from there.
I'll take a trustee position.
Well, you have to apply for it and get elected.
Okay.
Okay, that's how that goes, you've run for it before.
I have not been out. No.
Well, you had your name put down.
I've definitely had my name put down a few
Okay.
times, but I've never ran for it.
Okay, well, yeah, you're perfectly, acceptable and allowed to be the, you know, on that thing like anybody else. I don't know though. You've said that you're not a part of the HOA anymore.
You guys just
So you
accept
can't
that.
be on the board if you're not a part of the HOA.
That's fair. So we're gonna stop dealing with me?
No, the only thing that's lost by saying you're not part of the HOA and not paying your dues is your ability to vote in the elections. We've already talked to the attorney about this. The only thing you lose by dropping out of the HOA is your ability to vote in the elections. And I think that might preclude running for office.
Fair.
So, you know, that's straight from the attorney. Okay.
How do you apply?
Huh?
How do you apply?
Well, let one of us know that you wanna do
Is
it.
there paperwork? No.
I don't think there really is when we,
You just basically say your interest, and then we, you know, we
Put together a ballot.
put it together on a ballot, you know, we may have to do a motion on it for whoever wants to be on the ballot, but just put your names on the ballot if you wanna be a trustee or a secretary, and the majority wins.
then that'll have to go out with the certified mail for the election,
For those that don't have a waiver yet.
for the non-waiver.
It'll have to be mailed out.
Yeah, but yeah, we can, yeah, well, it's the process and you have to go through it. All right. Well, thank you, Jan. I think you ought to bug Mel a little bit more, he should have a turn.
That's why he goes to Arizona every
Okay, there is to finish off the road culvert repair. It was too squishy for a long time to get full compaction. Now the road base has been put in, but it'd probably be a good idea to run another load of gravel over it and have it spread around just to finish off the job. Yeah, gravel spread around and compacted. So, Diane, did you have input on that?
Yeah, I have some costs here. So, for, the screened rock per load with delivery is roughly $585 per load. And to have the bobcat to spread the gravel would be $350 for that as well. An additional $350, so.
Okay, so what's the total on that then, to finish that off?
Let me see. $935. And I don't know if that includes tax or not, so.
Well, I wouldn't know about that either, but tax is only, a certain percentage. But,
What was the amount, Diane?
$935 total.
Okay,
Do you need a breakdown?
speak up a little bit, hard to hear that.
Do you need the breakdown? Do you want me to yell?
yes, please.
Okay, so again, it's $585 per load,
Okay,
and then $350 for the bobcat to spread it.
okay, and that'll include compacting and the
Yeah,
spread.
that
Okay.
should take care of all that.
Well, we wanna finish that off before any weather sets in, and I propose that we give Mr. Shoney the opportunity to finish the work.
I'll second that.
Any comment from anybody on the board?
Can we get a second bid on that, if I can find somebody to give me a second bid?
If they can do the same things as Mr. Shoney, I think that would be acceptable, but we're under a time thing here, so, I don't know if you're thinking of Clay, I don't know.
No, I'm not thinking of Clay, I got somebody in mind that I could give him
Great.
a holler to, and, because he has a construction company that, see if he can,
Oh, yeah.
under bid him.
Let's get a bid on that then.
I'll give him a holler.
Sure.
The concern I have is Shoney Company has done the work that's there, they know what needs to be filled in.
Yeah,
You know,
but
the soft spots.
so that means that we have to go with him instead of opening it up to another bid. He can come up there and look at it, assess the situation, and give his bid on what he thinks is best.
Okay.
All right,
And do I have a time frame on that? Is it by the
Well,
end of
we
the month,
should,
or is it by the end of September, or?
well, we certainly wanna do it before well, we're pretty much past the rain, and well, we wanna do it certainly before any weather sets in.
Yeah,
Early
Who
September.
knows? I mean, what, I think at 30 days.
well, I know that.
30 days to finish work, maybe, or
I'll give him a
something like
holler
that.
and see what he can do.
Okay.
And see if he can give us a bid. It's,
Is he around here? Or?
he's from Buffalo.
Barney?
No, I'm just like,
Well,
Dan Rogers, his kids,
Okay.
down there in Buffalo, they do a lot of that kind of stuff.
well, he's licensed and bonded and all that stuff. Okay,
They're
well, I
licensed
think
and bonded and good to go.
Okay, so.
We have to have some information on their experience.
I will talk to him and see what we can do.
Okay, I'll retract that motion and amend it to say, that I think, we should take a time to receive some bids on the finished work there.
And what's the time frame, 14
30
days, 30 days?
30 days to have the work finished.
So by September 21st.
I think that's reasonable, to have the work finished,
Okay, I'll let
not
him know.
just put on the calendar.
I will let him know, I'll give him a holler tomorrow
Okay.
and see if we can get a
Hey, the
second.
sooner the better, actually, because.
Well, it's a little late tonight to give him a holler, so I'll give him a holler tomorrow.
All right, yeah, but you know, I mean, we just wanna get this.
Well, I understand that, but I think it was fair to give out another bid to other people.
That's why we agreed to it, of course. No problem. Okay. Does anybody else have a comment on that? All in favor of taking a bid, from Chad's guy and, the guy Diane knows, to get the work done within 30 days? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that's a unanimous one. That's nice. Okay, now, there's one more thing. Late season road work. That's something that, we do have a little bit of funding here, possibly, that we could, do to improve our roads a little bit right now. Would you care to elucidate on that?
Yeah, I was going through our position here, financial position, and we probably have room to do a little bit of road work, not as much as we would like initially, but with all this other stuff hanging out there, it's kind of tough. We might be able to do $5,000 worth, roughly. You know, we had intended to improve Ponderosa as much as we could from Aspen all the way to the north entrance this year, but obviously with the culvert happening, you know, that didn't happen. So that took a big chunk out of what we could have used. So we might still be able to do some more if we can find somebody that has the time to do it. You know, we can talk to Chad's person, we'll talk to Clay. You know, if it's worth pursuing.
Shoney is available also maybe to get a bid from.
Okay.
So, okay, and how much money did you say was very possibly available?
Maybe, you know, maybe $5,000.
Okay,
So it's not gonna do a whole lot, but it'll do some.
you have a description here, sorry, excuse me.
That's not it.
That's not it? No, that's not it. Okay, well, what was your, okay,
Yeah, well,
the late season road work, there was a description
yeah,
about.
we need to know, let them know that, you know, he's bringing in, they need to kind of sweep the pine cones and pine needles off a little bit, and maybe even might need to grade it lightly before they put down road base.
Yeah.
You know, put down the road base and compact it to get it ready for winter. So I mean, that's basically what we would require.
Okay, so should we take a bid as like per load up to our limit?
Well, we would need to do something, you know, that just, you know, so that there's some metric you can measure from that shows how much, you know, gives us a way to calculate how much we can get done. So
Okay.
yeah, on a per load basis or something.
Okay, well, we'll come up with that criterion and put that out for bid. How about if we come up with the criteria of our needs and we'll put that out to bid? Basically, whoever could fit us into our schedule before winter sets in. We need to, here it is.
Okay, brief write-up.
That's what I was thinking of. Okay, this is what it would entail. Sweep and lining grade applicable parts of Ponderosa Drive. Start at Ponderosa and Aspen Lane, Beaver Lane there, and proceed north. Bring in road base, spread and compact, apply water as needed. Provide a bid on a per load basis for a budget not to exceed $5,000. The max fund we have. We are interested in improving the roads and fixing things. For so long we were underfunded, and we're looking at doing things a little bit differently now and starting to make improvements and move forward. So I would motion that we take bids on this scope of work to see if we can get some of that done before the end of the season. Anybody want to second that?
I second that.
Everybody in favor? Aye. Okay, well, let's do that then. We'll put this out for bid. I'll give copies I'll send a picture of this, you can give this to your guy. Okay, email it. And Diane, can I have this one?
Yep.
Okay, Diane, can you provide that to Mr. Shoney? And also we'll provide one to Clay.
Yep.
And he can, and they can compete and see who's the big winner. All right, at this point, that's pretty much the end of the agenda. So, I would employ Mr. Burns, before you go the legal route, if you wanted to, up to you. If you could give me a timeline that I could compare to others. I didn't tell the other people when I got the timeline from them, who else I was getting it from. Nobody else, I got timelines from 3 different people. They don't know who I asked. You're here now. That's why I'm asking you if you could provide a timeline. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. We'll see where it goes from there. But I do think that the ditch people have some responsibility here. All right, so that's on that. So, okay, at this point, we will have for people that signed up. If anybody else have any business on board? No. Okay, we will have the open forum. There is a 3-minute limit on your input. You go ahead.
There's only 4 people that signed up for that, outside of Joe and Laura.
Yeah, we're good, we talked to her.
Okay, so then, Jan wrote down? Yeah. I did because.
Wait, let me start the timer because I'm gonna do this for everybody.
Okay.
I mean,
Mine isn't even gonna be.
No, I signed up that paper because I didn't know if I had anything to talk about until the meeting went and to see what all was discussed. And so at this time, I will give my minutes back to someone else because.
no, we're not Congress. There's no you in the minutes. Okay. Anyway, all right, who was left on the list?
Tyler signed up.
Okay, would you like that?
You want to start your timer?
I sure will.
Okay.
Thank you for reminding me.
I'm very concerned that this board has become very self-serving. We're changing the quorum requirements. Now we're increasing the dues mainly to sue people, it sounds like. Not to improve road work, but we want to start going after people. So I think we need to have a vote immediately to change the quorum back to normal because that's a very bad idea. Having 3 people can basically make any decision they want.
It's not 3, it's 5. 5.
Majority of, what's the majority of 5?
No, it's the new quorum is 3 out, what was it? 2 officers and 3 trustees.
Yeah.
To pass
It was 3 officers and 1 trustee.
That's,
So we went
that's the
from 4
vote,
to 5.
that's to have a meeting. To pass anything, you just need majority. So,
Well, it's the same way with the board.
it's a terrible idea, it's very self-serving, and we're just gonna increase dues to go after people and make it a less wonderful place to live.
Well, that's your opinion, and you're entitled to it.
Yeah, again, it's an open meeting.
You can talk in some of my minutes, I'll share with you.
All right, well,
No, he's
I'll let you
talking.
delegate your minutes.
Yep.
Go ahead.
I would like to address this, the three-member thing, and I was one of the three persons that brought that up to Chad. We were talking only about emergency situation. So I don't know that it's been changed or not.
It has not.
Listening to you, it's not. Okay, so that, I just want to clarify, what I did was made a motion that if they had an emergency, when the culvert thing went, that I thought that 3 people could probably make that decision.
But Chad made that decision on his own to approve the work for Mr. Shoney there. He said he did at the meeting, he gave an executive order that he felt he was justified in doing.
And I stick to that. To this day, I still feel justified to making that to where we can get that rectified.
And we agreed, we voted on that and agreed that's not
Right.
an issue. That was-
Wait a minute, guys, this is getting out of hand a little bit. Thank you for your input. Were you talking about any other kind of emergency situation?
I'm talking about the situation in general, about having 3 people make a decision. I made a motion that, yes, 3 people should be able to make that.
I don't think that went anywhere, though, did it?
Jen?
I'd have to look at last minutes.
Yeah.
Last meeting, so.
You need to look at the minutes.
No, well, we're trying to have a format here, because some of the meetings have been out of
I
hand.
understand that. I can withdraw everything.
No,
That's fine.
I think that what we basically agreed to last time was Chad made an executive decision on his own, and that, we all agreed that he did the right thing. We all agreed that.
But in order to get that done, we do have to send out a vote to everybody, so if we're gonna do something for like the secretary and stuff, we have to make it an actual amendment that we all approve of, for the people to vote on that, to show the executive decision can be made in times of, emergencies, and it can be anywhere from a tree falling across the street, anywhere from, a plugged up culvert, or, somebody's house catches on fire, something like that, these big emergencies that happen that, we can't get the whole entire board together because some people are on vacation or it's so late, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and, somebody has to be there, and boom, make that decision, or have a couple people that we can just give them a quick call, say, hey, this is what's going on, we need to get it done.
Well, that could
But we
very
got-
well be put on the next election form, but that will take 80%. No, not
It'll
that.
take a majority because it'll be a bylaw.
Just okay, just a majority.
Yeah, just majority.
Okay, great. I think that would be,
And that's what we had with this, the corner issue, was a majority vote.
okay. Ann, anybody else?
John and Courtney both signed up.
Okay, well, you got 2 time periods there. However you wanna share them out.
I'll go first. So I just want to bring up that, we're the ones who, our company is the one who took over the emergency trench for the culvert that flooded the Barnes house. Chad and Denny and Bruce Height and Diane was all there, representing the board. Ann's husband Jeff was there, even though he's not on the board. We sent in our bill since it was emergency. We did discount it a lot. This is being paid for the equipment that we had to get there. We had to use our company name to do the call before you dig ticket, and the bill was for $2,600. We did send an email stating that this does cover the equipment, the operators, the man hours, We were there until 2 in the morning. We do have a recording on our phone that it was approved, that whoever was there was in agreement before we started the project. You guys are denying paying us, and you said you're running this as a business, and I think it's a bunch of crap that you guys keep denying payment to us when we were out there saving their home. We went down to the end of the road to Fex to make sure that it didn't go over the road. We diverted it down in a ditch. We were putting up dirt dams to keep it from the other people's property who are next to the burns. And I just think you guys keep pushing this off, and I want to know why.
Well, let me chime in there. I've been working, most of my career with invoices like this. I have never seen anything so devoid of the information necessary to see how this number was calculated. What's the metric there? How was it determined?
Why does it have to be broke down? You guys took a bid that said you would do 600 labor and then material cost.
Yeah, and when we got the invoice, it was all lined out exactly what it was. Why can't you do that?
Because I know you guys, and if we bill out what the equipment was and who ran the equipment and all this stuff, you're gonna cut checks. You've already tried to speak to people personally, cut checks to them and block us out and say that we didn't, you
I
weren't,
believe that's true.
like we were unnecessary for the whole thing. And it was the emergency, and you guys approved it, and we gave you our bill, and now it needs to be paid.
Who approved it? What
Chad,
guys?
Denny, and Bruce Height when he was trustee.
I would like to see the proof that we approved it. I would like to see.
Chad, did you not approve?
I absolutely approved
And
it.
was Denny there and was Bruce Height there?
They were there.
And they approved it. Okay, there you go. There's your proof. Spoken out from the board.
I didn't.
You asked your daughter. It's my 3 minutes. You asked your daughter to do the call before your dig. Did you not?
I
Okay,
did, because
so
you
then-
were digging in front of my house.
No.
Yes.
You were gonna say.
Her time is still running.
Diane,
You-
no, I paused your time.
apologize.
I paused your time. I did.
I
Thank you.
apologize.
So let's keep it.
I apologize.
You asked your daughter to do call before your dig. My husband said you can't do that unless you had board approval because you didn't want the people out there doing an emergency locate in the middle of the night. You went ahead and had her call it even though you hadn't approved of it yet. Then approval went, then your daughter had to hand my husband the phone because she is not the person digging and she did not have a company. So then that meant we had to take over the call before your dig, and we had the whole operation, and it was underneath of our company, and we had to handle the whole operation. So it was approved by the board, and we took care of it, and now we're asking for payment, and I don't know why this bill is not being paid. And I'm wondering, like everybody else paid, the culvert got done, and it's not fixed yet, all the way, the work's not all the way done, you have to pay more to get it fixed, and so the job isn't done, and you issued that guy his payment,
$5,300.
so I'm wondering why we cannot get our payment.
Okay. Well, I've heard different things from different people. Chad, I asked you several times if you approved.
And I told you several
No, you
times,
did
yes,
not.
I did.
Show me the email that says you did.
Okay, so how, you can't even trust your own board? Like,
No, I'm trying to answer your question. I asked Chad several times, I don't recall getting an answer from you. I'm sorry, but I do not recall getting an answer from you saying that you approved Mr. Housen. I do not recall that. As far as why we're not paying, first of all, I didn't get it. Chad says he approved it now. I don't recall getting I would like to see evidence that I was told that. Because I would like to see an email or something. There's sent and received emails. You can prove things. One more thing. Another thing is, we asked repeatedly to break it down because it does matter. I think it's kind of $2,600 It's just a number thrown out there. I'd like to see what machines were used, how much, how much labor was
I
involved.
told you in the email that we sent right here, this says to Leslie Carey, to clarify, the invoice amount is $2,600 and covers the emergency trench dug over the failed culvert located on Dogwood and Choke Tree to divert the Dalton ditch water from continuing to flood the Burns home and potentially other homes as well. The invoice includes man hours, equipment operators, skid steer, backhoe used to complete the job. Vice President Chad, Treasurer Denny, Trustee Diane, and Trustee Bruce were all present there during the initial assessment and authorization of the work, confirming its urgent necessity. Vice President Chad was in attendance for the whole duration of the job, which did not conclude until 2
Okay,
a.m.
I did receive that email. I never saw the invoice that detailed those items that you said. I never did. I never did see the
Legally, we
invoice.
don't have to detail anything. We sent you an invoice,
That's your
it's
opinion.
right here. No, in the
No.
state of Wyoming, the laws,
not.
the only companies that have to detail you an invoice is the medical field.
Hmm.
No other company has to in the state of Wyoming. And we gave you this invoice, this is how we invoice all of the rest of our customers, and we're wanting to know when we can get paid. Because right now, you're including interest because you're over 30 days. And legally, we can do that as well. And so, we're trying to not cost the homeowners any more money, and you guys, I mean, money's obviously an issue, but we can spend money on, all kinds of other stuff, and I'm just wanting to know when we get paid. I even asked for a date when we can expect payment.
I've just found out some new information as far as I'm concerned today that Chad gave permission.
Denny, did you not give permission when you were standing there with Bruce and
I
Chad?
said, let's wait until, we had to get the locate first, and then I was gone before we started digging, so
No, you did not. That's a lie.
I said you had to get the locate done first, right?
So there was a discussion before that, but the recorded session has you, Bruce, and Chad standing there, and I recorded it, and we acknowledged that it was recording, and I asked if you guys were all approved it, and you all approved.
So,
Fine.
but if Chad can approve of a contractor fixing the culvert, then how come Chad and Bruce couldn't approve, that be okay to approve of our emergency dig?
I just found out right now that Chad said he did.
See, I think that's a coup. You're just making that stuff up. You weren't even president at the time, so it really doesn't apply to you. It implies to the board members at the current time. You didn't become president until the afternoon the next day. So for you, it does not mean nothing. It's the previous board that was there, their responsibility to pay for the bills that they approved.
Well, here's the question for me as a treasurer. I'm trying to verify this to, everybody in the subdivision, not just to you folks.
Okay, I
Here,
want everybody to listen.
let me finish. Let me finish. What I'm asking for is common practice, and I don't see why you folks don't want to do this. It shows, okay, here's the equipment that was used, person operating on so many hours at X number of dollars an hour, for the backhoe and for the skid steer.
It's not.
I've never seen anything like this before in
I send out
27 years of working like
150
this.
invoices a month that have time, material, 2 line items, and then pay. Some of them are $100,000.
Okay, here's the.
So,
The only thing I can do is, before anybody takes anything from my house, my electrical.
You came out when we were doing it and
Wait,
gave us
wait,
the
Diane,
paper and
Diane, Diane, wait a minute.
you asked your daughter to call, so you agreed.
it's called implied consent. It was implied consent because
I will ask for that. I would like to ask, I'm trying to get to the bottom of this here. You're right, I wasn't there. That's why I've asked for timelines from everybody, because now I am doing something I don't wanna be doing. I mean, president's one thing, but dealing with this stuff is horrible. So, could you send one of us of your choice, preferably Edie? She's got the machine here. If you send her the recording of that or the video, we'll run it through the AI thing and we'll get what it says, because I asked you a few times, sir, to see the evidence, and you said we will show it to you if we have to go to court.
Okay,
That's
well,
what
so-
you said.
So here's the thing, how I know how you guys work. You're gonna continue to accrue interest every day. It's about $1.75 at the current interest rate and the amount you owe. So you guys are willing to push it off for as long as you want to try to get the same transcription you just listened to cost the people even more on something that you've already approved.
Denny, we heard Bruce on the thing. Bruce said he did. That's why he quit, because you guys ran him off.
He quit because he was caught in a lie.
He was caught in a lie?
He was.
No.
He said he didn't give approval. He told us he never approved it.
He was there giving approval, and
Right.
Jeff, your husband, was standing there hollering at him in his face that night, saying, well, then you're gonna pay for it if you're gonna approve it.
Well, he said he did, but he did.
So, that was the thing.
Anyways, okay, so how do I know if we're going to get paid or
You
not?
did.
Or if
See,
we have to
now-
go to court? That's what I came
So-
here for.
Is that's like an ultimatum now?
Well,
I'm trying.
we've-
We've given you proof. You have proof from your board members.
I've heard a very
You don't.
garbled,
You don't trust your board members. They flat out tell you something and
you don't trust the board members.
You can't even trust your board.
How
I
can-
just
how-
got here recently.
How can you trust the board members in our sense if you guys are completely not paying a bill that you and your members agreed to? You're trying to stand there and say, I didn't agree to it. Well, of course, you weren't a part of it. So it's the
I never said-
responsibility
I apologize to all
of
the
Denny and
homeowners
Chad.
who are